Hey guys, Frank here, your virtual aviation aviator, and I am in the KingAir by AirfoilLabs, and so my outside views does not do what I want, but yeah, you get an idea of the livery that we're flying, some sort of flight check livery. Um, Tail number N77. That doesn't make sense. Actually, we're gonna fly up under the moniker Get High 515. So that's gonna be our call sign. Get High 515. And you guys can refer to me as Sim Captain White, or just Captain White for short. Okay. So the mission today is to fly 8 passengers from Asheville to Wilmington, North Carolina, and so we're gonna depart from the mountains, and hopefully after some time we'll wind up on an IFR flight to Wilmington. Now we'll have an AI co-pilot, and I intend to use AI ATC. So the co-pilot will be provided by Fly Shirley, and the ATC will be provided by Say Intentions.
Roger. Flight 515 with 8 souls from Asheville, KAVL to Wilmington, KILM. Let me check both airports for you. Let me check current weather in Asheville. Captain White, Asheville weather is VFR. Wind 190 at 7 knots. Visibility 10 miles. Few clouds at 7,500. Temperature 25. Dew point 13. Altimeter 30.05. Ready to assist with the flight when you connect to the sim.
Okay, so I will probably ask for those for the meter again once I get closer to ready to taxi. But first, the thing is to get this aircraft from a cold and dark state to ready to taxi.
Ready to assist with the cold and dark checklist? Just unmute me by saying Shirley when you want to proceed with each step.
Okay, so I will let you know whenever I need any help. All right, so let's get this flight underway. And since we're doing IFR, as I am looking for an ink pen so I can make some notes. I know that winds were 190 at something, and the altimeter was 30 something. Don't test my memory, because I would surely fail. But let's keep going. All right, so let's get this guy started. And yeah. So I've got some quick looks set up. At least I had some set up. Yeah, still got them. Good stuff. Okay, focus on the right monitor. There we go. So that's a left look and a right look. And pilot look. Okay. And an avionics panel look. Okay, so I think we're on external power right now, which is good because I want to power up my avionics. And let's see if our avionics power up. I'm supposed to be flying with the Garmin 750. And look like I got a pair of 530s there, which is not what I wanted. So let's see if we can't fix that. I am going to not let you have to suffer through this housekeeping work. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back, and hopefully that was a flash to you. In fact, you probably couldn't even tell I was gone. That's the miracle of recording. All right, so what I did was I went out to make sure that I got the the plug-in for the. Oh, okay, got it. Here it is. All right, so now, and yep, look at that. I've got the Garmin GTNs installed. It's perfect. So let me go ahead and um, ask for a GPU. Okay, I think I got the GPU already out there. Remember that from last time. So let me go ahead and start external power. I got external power on. All right, so um, since I'm on external power, then I'm going to go ahead and start the battery bus. Avionics master. Um, external power. Let's see. So battery. Let's get that on. Good stuff. And here this master caution. And I'm hearing some sort of alarm. Almost sound like an ELT alarm. Hmm. Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that we had the avionics master, and I actually want to go ahead and put in my flight plan while I was. I tell you what, I am gonna go ahead and turn the avionics master off. Yeah, I thought that might have been what triggered the alarm, but it's not. And let me turn the external power off. Okay, that's not what triggered the alarm. Sound like an ELT alarm to me. Let's look for the ELT. It's airplane. Might be on the co-pilot side. I'm scanning, you know, a lot of times when I'm watching somebody else's video and I see what they're looking for and they don't see it and I want to holler, look, it's right there in front of you. It's right there. See, look, look. So that's to say I could be looking all over it. My scan may not be as good as your scan. Um, okay, lights, ice protection, lights, landing gear. Ah, ignitions are on. I bet that's what that is. Let's try turning off the ignitions. Yep, that's what it was. Okay. See, the airplane was trying to tell me something. I don't know if you guys ever seen the color purple, and there's a song in the color purple well that goes, "I'm trying to tell you something." When the airplane was trying to tell me something, and my singing is whacked. All right, so let's go ahead and invite our co-pilot back into the cockpit. Uh, so I can do that. And believe it or not, I think he probably heard. Well, he didn't hear anything we said.
Tension, please. Airplane teammate is up. Mic check when ready.
Mic check.
Shirley back in the twin turboprop, ready to assist. Looking forward to our flight together.
Okay, so I hate that it didn't, that I lost everything. You know, like I said, my co-pilot does not have a persistent memory, so everything that we just went over is lost to him, but we'll do our best to bring him up to date as we talk to you guys. All right, so I'm in the KingAir 350, and the flight today is from Asheville to Wilmington, and we do have a flight plan that I am going to pull in. The airtime should be approximately an hour, and our flight altitude is 25,000. We will have 8 passengers aboard, and our call sign is going to be Get High 515. We will use Say Intentions AI to provide ATC. And speaking of Say Intentions, while I'm thinking about it, let me make sure it's running. Don't see Say Intentions running. How did that happen? Okay, so anyway, it's running now. And what I want to do is make sure I got the intercom turned off because I don't need it. All right, now let's turn on our avionics master while we're on ground power, and let's get our flight plan put in. So we'll use the waypoints on the flight plan rather than VFR waypoints. Okay. So, all right. Database is up to date. Continue. And I got 123 gallons on board. I need 2,731 pounds. So 2731 divided by a pound of fuel is divided by 6.67 equal 409. So I got 409 gallons of fuel on board, and of that I only need 123. No. I'm gonna need 409 gallons, and I only got 123 gallons. So definitely gonna need to call the fuel truck for this flight. So let's go ahead and call that fuel truck now.
TOS system test okay.
Okay, so there is my fuel truck, right? And fuel truck is outside. Look like I'm getting Texaco branded fuel. And I thought I could do more from this panel, but other than have them show up like that, like it's all I can do. So what I can do is go to this cog, and that's settings cog. That's not what I want. Weight and balance would give me fuel, right? Yep, it does. All right, so that's where I need to go. When I called the fuel truck, this should have popped. You know, if I'd have been a developer, I want this screen to pop up so I could go ahead and get my fuel on when I call the fuel truck. Okay, so I got two sides. I need, let's see, I got 409 minus the fuel on board, minus the fuel on board, 123, tells me how much I need. I need 286 gallons of fuel that I need to bring on board, right? And I've got um, now I'm looking at this is confusing the heck out of me. How much fuel does this say I have on board? Zero fuel, minimum fuel, maximum fuel. Um, what's this? This one says I got 370 pounds. Okay, in one tank, 370, and then at 368 pounds in the other. Oh, okay. I'm getting pounds and gallons mixed up. See how easy it is to do that. And we already did our conversion. So if I go to pounds, well, let's see. If I go to pounds, I know I need 286 gallons, and I got 55 gallons in each side. So, so if I 286 divided by 2 equal 143 additional gallons is what I need. 143 minus the 55 that's already there. So let's do 143 minus the 55. You guys who are good at setting up algebraic expressions and all that probably know a quick, easy way to do this, but I have to figure out the logic. Okay, so I need 88 gallons on both sides. All right, and unfortunately, it won't let me put gallons in, so I have to put pounds in. So if I multiply that back out, um, yeah, I should have just worked with pounds. Then I wouldn't have to do any more calculating. But it is what it is. All right. So so I need 88, 88 gallons times the weight of each gallon, 6.67 equal, because I am running jet fuel. So I need 587 gallons um, total in each side. So bringing that up to 587. And okay, I got 588 on one side and 583, 88 on, almost had it, 588. There we go, 588 on both sides. And apply that. That's applied. And now we can kill this. When I say kill this, I mean, you know what I mean. All right. And for our passengers, just since SimBit won't, since this has nothing to do with SimBit, and we have to put our passengers in manually, and for crew, let's see, now how do we do this? What is this? We got 8 passengers, and the aircraft would carry a total of 12 passengers. So look like if I click on 3/4 of a load, then that should bring us at right at um, the weight, the correct weight for passengers, which come up to 901 pounds. And I'm just gonna hit 2 out of 4. Yep, see that did change 3/4. And yeah, okay, just want to make sure. Okay, apply that. So yeah, all right. So passengers and fuel are now loaded. All right. Um, and let's look at this screen and see if it concur. Now it's telling me I've got 195 gallons on board, and I needed what, 286. See, yeah. Anyway, I think I got enough fuel, but just to be on the safe side, since I done got all this combobulated in my fuel calculations, I'm just going to fill it up till to get the truck to give me 3/4 of a tank of fuel. No need to top it off, and that way I would know that I'm good. Okay, apply that. Cancel. And let's go back and look at this system. And let's get down here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And system status. Got a message. Go ahead and clear that message. That's just my license, and it's okay. And back to utilities and fuel planning. We want present position, use sensor data, and I've got 450 gallons of fuel on board now versus the 123 we started out with. And I still contend that I'm gonna need 286 gallons. So, but 190 sounded pretty short. So, anyway, I digress. All right. Oh man, this was not what I was thinking. I was thinking that had to what word am I looking for? Can't think of the word, but uncap this, release it so that it will line up. Anyway, right. So let's get our flight plan on board here. Now, with the downside about using the GTN 750 right now is that I can't import a flight plan. Thankfully, the flight plan that I'm going to enter is really easy. Bless you. So flight plan, I'm at KLAV, add a waypoint. Right. So my first waypoint is going to be Bubba, and I think that's the only waypoint. Bubba, BU, Bubba. 86 nautical miles. We go down to Bubba. That'll get us outside the Charlotte, south of the Charlotte airspace, and we'll be able to fly roughly 950 or roughly 990 or 100 to get to Charlotte. Not Charlotte, but Wilmington. All right, so our last waypoint is Wilmington. That's going to be KAVL-KILM. Okay, and while we're here, let's see if they got a procedure that we can hook up with to fly our approach. We don't need an arrival, we just need an approach. And so let me go, well, let's try hitting this menu and now parallel preview catalog. Okay, I was thinking I could get my approach without having to back out of this, but apparently I am going to have to back out and hit procedure here, go to approach, okay, and it does know I want an approach into Wilmington. And let's see if they got an R now, we can fly. So I'm going to scroll down. Ooh. They do have R nows, but right now I don't know the winds in Wilmington. So I could ask my AI co-pilot for the winds. He'd be happy to give them to me. And so what I'm gonna do is put in my approach when I get a little closer, because well, it's only an hour. Chances are the weather will not change um, between Asheville, and Wilmington. So so whatever I put in now ought to hold up for the next hour. In that case, Shirley, can you give me the METAR for Wilmington, KILM?
Let me check Wilmington's weather for you right away.
Hey, Shirley is checking.
KILM,
Say again, Shirley.
KILM weather, sky clear, wind 200 at 7 knots, visibility 10, temperature 23, dew point 19, altimeter 30.10.
So winds were 2.7 at 7, I think. So we got a 2.4 and a 3.5, right? So let's look at 2.4 and let's see what the runway length is for runway 2.4. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be fine, but better to check, right? So we can pull up the chart, and that's the arrival chart. Hoping to find approach, hoping to find, okay, that's not what I want, so I'm gonna go back, get that, and airport info, that's what I want. All right, and runways, that's what I want. Runway 2.4, click on that. Runway 2.4 is 8,016 feet, 150 foot wide, full hard surface, and lighting is full time. Traffic is left pattern. All right, so that's good stuff. All right, Wilmington's elevation is 32 feet. Our flight altitude, if I hadn't mentioned it, it's going to be 25,000, 250. Okay. With all that said, we've got our information, so we can go ahead and get one of our engines started. Now, we can get rid of the fuel truck. That would be smart before we start the engines. All right, so let's say bye-bye fuel truck. Bye-bye fuel truck. And right now, the only thing we still got hooked up is the GPU. All right. So we got a flight plan in. And guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, I haven't flown this aircraft in months. And the number of times that I have flown it has been probably I can probably count the number of times that I've flown it on 4 fingers. So you figure that out. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna get the engine started first. So I want to turn off the master avionics, but there's a good chance that I'll lose everything that I just programmed into the master avionics. Um, let's see, we can go ahead and put clearance on COM2. And by, and actually I said COM2 and I put it on COM1. So if I do this, turn off COM, figure out how to get it on COM2, right? Monitoring COM2. Okay, so maybe it's this one. So that is oh now. Help me out, guys. How do I tell this GPN that I want COM2? I mean, this Garmin that I want to put this frequency on COM2. I even just switch to COM2. Okay, so there we go. Mic, COM2. All right. Now, if I grab the ADAS frequency, well, I'm gonna grab clearance first, make it active. Now I'm gonna grab the ADAS, and I want ADAS on standby. And the reason I did it that way is because I don't want ADAS to start right now. Now I'm gonna go to COM1, right, and put ground. Hopefully make that active, and then tower on standby. Oops, hit the wrong button. I think I must have hit nearest. All right. Shucks, what just happened? Go back to airport information. Okay, there's ground. Now, tower. I want frequencies. Okay, tower. There we go. And I'm put that on standby. All right, so we got our radios tuned. Hopefully, it will go accordingly to the way that we think it will. Let me just change the mic. I'll change the mic to COM2. And man, the radio frequencies did not change. So, well, I got, look on my first officer side. Okay. So this looks like the frequency. All right. It ain't pretty, is it, guys? This is not pretty. Okay, so so let me go back to airport information. I can get it from Mike here by going, let's see, flight plan. You know what? These two guys are independent of each other, and I don't think they talk. So the flight plan that I have on GTN number 1 is not reflected on GTN number 2. So I am, well, the flight plan is so easy, so I might as well just stick it in there. We know it's Bubba. Asheville direct to Bubba, and then Bubba to to Wilmington. Kilo, I tell you, it can be a lot of fun setting this stuff up, right? Maybe not, depending on how much immersion, how much you like the immersion. All right, so, and I just have to tune the radios. I'm just gonna have to tune everything on COM one for the time being. You know, look up here, guys. I got knobs that that I can change to COM one and two. But that didn't do anything. And yeah, that's not doing it what I thought it would. Okay, so yeah, so we just change it as needed, and we just use one radio. All right. So the first thing we want to do then, before we start the aircraft, is go ahead and get our clearance from ATC. Clearance, that frequency was 120.825. And I'm looking at clearance, looking for clearance in the app, in the Say Intentions app. I don't know what threw a caution, but I'm looking for clearance in the Say Intentions app, and I don't see it. Center Ground Tower, CTF, Sky Ops, and ADOS, and Center Radio Jet Departure. No clearance frequency there. Let me try putting in the clearance frequency that, look at that. This is the clearance frequency for for Arava Airport. So that might explain some things. So let me go back out to the plan. Go up here and get information and see. Load subview charts, load procedure. Okay, so I'm not seeing airport information there. I tell you when, that's my license message again. I tell you when you're watching somebody learn like this, then it can be confusing to you guys because you like, the pilot doesn't know what he's doing, so why am I watching him? I know, right? So I get it. I get it. So it is what it is. All right. So let's see. I should be able to pull up what I'm looking for, and that's the airport information. Waypoint. Let's try this. Waypoint info. Yeah, that worked. And now I don't have a clearance in Asheville. I do have a clearance frequency in Wilmington, but that's not where we're departing from. So I spent 10 minutes talking about clearances when I could have saved that time. All right, the ground frequency is correct and the tower frequency is correct. So the Garmin may be smarter than I am. Who knows? Probably is. All right. So with that said, we don't need to get clearance. We can just go ahead and get ready to taxi and then call ground for taxi. All right. And one more thing that I know I need to do is I need to change this to GPS or something different than what it's on. Let's see, the source that it's getting information from right now is VOR1, and that's not what I want. I want it to get information from I want to get information from the Gorman VOR2 GPS. Good stuff. All right, and that was CRS pre button. This button here is what did the trick. All right, good stuff. All right, now we can go ahead and get started, right? Let's get this engine started. So come back down here, and we already got our batteries on. Turn the batteries back on. It still should be on external power, so that shouldn't matter. Uh-oh. Let's hope we didn't lose anything. I believe that I bet I lost.
TOS. System test OK.
I bet I lost everything. Let's see. Flight plan is what I'm looking for. Yep. Thank you for small favors. It's a short, easy flight plan, one waypoint. But if I had sat here and typed in 10, 12, 15 waypoints and lost everything just by clicking that, I would have been pretty upset. So at least for those backspace, at least for those of you who are watching this, maybe you can see what not to do. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's our flight plan, and now we'll worry about the approach later. All right, now let's get started here. Well, maybe the thing that I should keep in mind is maybe not even put the flight plan in until after I get the engine started. So going forward, that's going to be the case. Batteries are on, and the GPU is on the right side. So we'll start number one, the left side first. And so let's get the inverters on, bus sensor, engine and ignition. All right, so we get that on. All right, and let's make sure change these up. But I should use these. Okay, make sure that our throttles are working, and let's make sure that our condition is working. Okay. Right. Feather that back down, and now we'll make sure our fuel shut off is working. Don't have a mixture. We have condition. And why won't that go on? There we go. All right. So everything works. All right. So free to shut off. And okay. And we want this start with takeoff and landing and reverse. So start that just there. All right, and make sure that our prop. Now I need to do some more housework. I'm gonna tell you what I need to do. Say I don't have any reversers. Go around button is not working, and I don't have reversers. So, but I'm not gonna do the housework on that. We'll just land. We're 8,000 feet of runway at Wilmington. We can bring it to a stop without using reversers. Okay. So let's go ahead and get that engine started. All right. Look out there. Make sure nobody's out there. And if we had a marshaller, we would give them the signal, but we don't. And I was fully expecting to get some rotation when I armed that. All right, so let's see what we ain't got on. All right, let's zoom in. Entires reset. Bus system is reset. Engine anti-ice is not gonna be an issue. And generators don't come on until after engines are started, I don't think. All right, so let's do it again. Starter is on. All right, now turn the ignition on. Okay, the ignition is on, starter is on, and I should be getting, all right, let's try the generators. Thing, I can't see the generator being, the generators were on, which they don't need to be. Okay. Got fuel. So why am I not getting any rotation, guys? Engine and ignition and engine start is on, and engine auto ignition is armed, right? Battery is on. Okay. Ground idle stop. Reset. Governor prop test. Auto feather is not going to stop the engine from starting up. There's nothing on the overhead that would stop the engine from starting up. And see, that's why you use a checklist, because I think that if I were using a checklist, I wouldn't be running into this issue. Okay, battery bus. And that shouldn't make any difference, which it doesn't. Okay, maybe the inverters needs to be on or off. I would think the inverters need to be on to give it some pop to to change the DC power to AC for the AC appliances that's in the cockpit. Out of feather. Okay. So off. Don't need that. Okay. All right. Before I start, engine start GPU.
Gen ties, nighttime. Manual close. Voltmeter.
Now that's loud, isn't it? Voltmeter. What about voltmeter? Center 28 DC main.
External power 28 volts. Voltmeter.
External power, okay. I got 28 volts external.
Central bus 20 volts DC minimum. External power switch. On. Voltmeter.
And what do they want? Voltmeter center. Need at least 28. Shucks. That telling me that I don't have enough battery power. I don't have 28 volts here.
Central bus 28 volts DC minimum. External power annunciator. On steady. Engine anti-ice. On. Left engine. Start. Left propeller area. Clear. Left ignition and engine start switch.
Left ignition and engine start switch. Ignition and engine start switch. The three-way switch. That need to be all the way down.
Attention all aircraft, Whiskey now, current altimeter 3004.
004. That need to be down, right? Because if I zoom in, oh no, that's says starter only. Okay, yeah. So that need to be up, okay. And that should start my N2 rotation if I had enough power, which I don't think I have enough power. But I'm on ground power, so I should have enough power. At least I'm supposed to be on ground power. There's the GPU is out there, and the ground power button is on. I know my co-pilot's getting impatient. And I don't blame him. But external power is on, right? It's off, and external power is on. All right, I'm gonna turn the avionics off. If I lose that, I don't mind putting that little short flight plan back in. All right, and turn everything off. You know what I gotta do, guys? I gotta charge the battery. I think that's the problem. So I want everything off on this panel so I can get the battery charged. All right, and let's get the battery off. And let's go out and get the battery. Okay. Click that one. And engine, controls, systems, electrical, battery. It says battery is okay. Battery is okay. Right. And okay. So there is a button that resets everything, which is not that one, this one. This one should fix everything. The thing that was wrong ought to be fixed now. All right. Let's turn the external power off. We'll do a battery start. All right, we get our inverter on so we can get some displays. Sure we got enough battery. No external power. Let's see, it says I got 28 volts of external power. Yeah, still got that hooked up, don't I? All right. So if I turn on external power, then let's try and start these engines again. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. So one thing I could do is cheat. And the way to cheat is do before start. And now everything should be set to before start. So all I should have to do is start the ignition to auto, and there are my noise. That's a good sound. And now turn on that, and there's my rotation. So I wonder what the devil was I doing wrong. All right, so N2. Let's see, N2, I've got, where's my N2? Torque. Okay, I think it's this turbine figure, and as long as that's above, I think it's 13, then I'm okay to offer fuel. Go to low idle. Introduce fuel. ITT is coming up. Get started on number 1. All right, let's get number 2 started. Okay, got rotation. Turbines is above minimum, so I can introduce fuel. Okay, ITT is coming up. Turbines are coming up. Look for a hot start. Look for Hans starts. ITT is returning. Everything looked good so far. Torque is coming down, and I got good start on that engine. All right. Now, I can turn on my avionics master. And I think my displays are off. I think there is actually a button down here that turns those displays on, which are these. Yep, there we go. Good stuff. All right, GPS is our source for the Garmin's. Still should have enough fuel, 449.8 gallons of 450. That's perfect. And let's go ahead and put our flight plan in.
TOS. System test OK.
Terrain awareness warning system is okay. And let's say flight plan. One waypoint, that's Bubba. And then to Wilmington, and we'll worry about an approach a little bit later. Okay. And let's go ahead and put the flight plan on this one too. Yeah, back. Yeah, waypoint. Yeah, that was good. B U B Bubba. K I L M. Good stuff. All right. So here I can leave the flight plan here, and I can put this on a map. So I think if I hold that, I get map. There we go. And given the winds, which were 190 at something when we got them earlier, I suspect it'll still be 190 something. Okay. And all right. And yeah. All right. So my ethos doesn't look I'm not sure this is what I wanted to say. Let's bring that down and see if any of this stuff changed. Display. That might be the multi-function display that I'm changing. Or maybe not. Push. All right, there's my heading. Sync. Head and sync. All right, and display. I don't see anything changing. So I could probably, oh, you know what? That might have been for the first officer side. I think that was for the first officer side. Let's doesn't look like I can pop the first officer side out like I can the pilot side. Nope. But I won't be referring to the first officer side. Okay, nav data. Okay. And GSP, ET, that's elapsed time. All right. So we're just TTG, time to, not sure what the G stand for. Okay, the course. And I know what this, no, I don't know what that does. I do now. I was getting that one mixed up with this one. Okay. Bearing. And that's some sort of test. Okay. There is arc. Yeah, okay. So there's that. So I guess the flight director, let's see, let's go ahead on the flight director here. I tell you, it's a shame when you do a video and it take an hour and a half just to get the airplane started and ready to taxi. But it is what it is, you know, better that I learn the stuff on the ground and go through it while I'm on the ground. This is my autopilot panel, autopilot engage. But the whole thing that I was trying to do was to see if I couldn't change this display here because it don't quite look right, but maybe it is correct. All right, so let's kill these and go back to our palette view. And another little housekeeping task here. So, all right, guys, I think we are ready to taxi. All right. I should have turned on, I was so caught up and stuff. I was going to say I should have turned on my nav lights, which they are on. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the taxi light. Actually, I'm going to see if Shirley can turn on the taxi light. Would you, Shirley?
I notice you've been working hard to get everything set up. Unfortunately, I can't directly control aircraft systems since the sim is currently disconnected. Once we're connected, I'll be happy to help with systems management when asked. For now, I'm here to assist with weather, airport info, and navigation planning.
Good answer. Good answer. So let's get you connected. All right. And see if you got any control over the lights. Landing, taxi, and nav, please. Well, I got two landing lights. I got two switches for landing lights, and historically, you've only been able to control one in the aircraft where you can control landing lights, so forget about the landing lights. Just see if you can't toggle the taxi light on and off. Shirley.
I'll help with the taxi light. Taxi light on. Let me know if you need anything else.
Okay. And turn the taxi light off. Turn the taxi light off, Shirley.
Taxi light off. Need anything else?
And turn it back on.
Taxi light back on. You're at KAVL. Runway 17 is about 1,700 feet ahead, requiring a 150-degree right turn.
Yeah. Even though your telemetry said the taxi light was on, it was actually still off. All right. Okay, turn the taxi light back on, Shirley. Okay, so
Taxi light on.
so you
I see what you mean about the telemetry. I'll keep an eye on the actual state versus what's reported.
yeah I saw that the telemetry too loud. One moment, please.
Yes, I see the telemetry confirms taxi light is now actually on. I'll be more observant of the actual state
Well,
data rather
well-
than just assuming my commands went through. What would
well-
you like help with next?
Well, yeah, it was correct in the telemetry. It's that the problem is the animation. When you turned it on, it didn't actually.
Ah,
Yeah, the telemetry showed it was on. The animation didn't indicate that the switch had been flipped, and the the actual light, which I didn't check, I don't think came on. Turn the taxi light off for me.
I understand now. There's a disconnect between the telemetry state, the physical switch animation, and possibly the actual light effect.
Okay.
Taxi light commanded off.
They got these quick looks set up that I don't particularly
I notice you're
like, but what I okay. Shoot.
I notice one and AC taxi light is currently off. Would you like me to turn it back on for taxi?
Yes.
Turning taxi light back on for taxi.
Okay. So
Taxi light on.
So you are able to actually turn the taxi light off and on, and in the plane, when you turn it off and on, it does work on the outside. It's just that the animation in the plane is not working. This quick
Correct.
look.
I can control the actual taxi light functionality. It turns on and off outside. And the
Yeah.
telemetry shows the correct state, but the physical switch animation inside the cockpit doesn't move to match. It's just
Right.
a visual disconnect with the cockpit model.
Correct.
But the light itself is working as commanded.
Correct. All right, let's taxi. Can you give me a let's see, give me that METAR again for Asheville, please.
I'll look up the airport information for KAVL. You're currently near runway 17. It's a right 150-degree turn and about 700 feet to the departure end. Runway 17/35 is 8,001 feet long, 150 feet wide, asphalt surface, and lighted.
Okay, give me the METAR.
I'll check KAVL's current weather. KAVL weather, few clouds at 5,000, wind 160 at 4 knots, visibility 10, temperature 23, dew point 13, altimeter 30.04.
Good stuff. All right, let's get out of here.
Looks
Man.
good for taxi to runway 17. Winds are favorable at 160 at 4 knots. I notice your brakes are still on, but everything else looks ready for taxi. Engine stabilized at idle, taxi light on.
But that's
Need
odd
anything else before?
because the brakes are disconnected, and your telemetry is saying it's showing the brakes has been.
I see. There's another disconnect between telemetry and reality. The telemetry shows brakes are off, but you're indicating they're actually still engaged.
No.
This is
no. Okay, I'm looking at your telemetry, and they are off now. Turn them back on. Okay, brakes on, true. Brakes on, false. Okay, yeah, the brakes are correct. So you were right when whatever you said must have been right. So the brakes telemetry is correct.
Yes, I see now. The telemetry is accurate for the brakes. They're currently showing as off, which matches what you're experiencing. You're ready to taxi, about 1,700 feet ahead with that 152-degree right turn to get to runway 17's departure end.
You say about, okay, so I am going to need to follow the yellow brick road here.
Yes, follow the yellow taxiway line. You'll need about a 99-degree right turn and 1,746 feet to reach runway 17's departure end.
I'm Erica.
Ground speed
Your
showing
person
3
for
knots,
this flight.
nice and steady for
Captain.
taxi.
And don't need a flight crew on this flight. Turn.
Roger that, no flight crew needed. I see you're headed to runway 17, about 1,700 feet ahead with an 85-degree right turn. You're at a good taxi speed with both engines stable at 60% N1.
I got my hand on my tiller. I got an airline tiller, but it's not doing anything because this aircraft can be steered only with the rudders and toe brakes.
Roger that. You'll need to use rudder pedals and differential braking for steering since there's no working tiller. You?
And yeah, I think, now this is my personal opinion, but the developer really messed this aircraft up, in my opinion, with the oh, you know what?
Yeah, a twin turbo.
You know what, Shirley? I did not get taxi clearance. Hold on, let me get taxi clearance.
Roger, good catch. You'll need ground clearance before we taxi. Ground is on 121.9. .9. Asheville ground. KingAir, get high 515 is ready to taxi to runway 17.
Arrow 6919 Romeo, Asheville ground, taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha Alpha 8.
Taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha Alpha 8. KingAir, get high 515. Sure, they got my right call sign. It's calling me error. Let me see if he's got my call sign correct now. Asheville ground, could you repeat the taxi instruction for get high 515?
Arrow 19 Romeo, Asheville ground, taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha Alpha 8.
Taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha Alpha 8. Get high 515. It's still not calling me by my correct.
Arrow 19 Romeo, taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha Alpha 8.
Taxi to runway 27 via Alpha Bravo Charlie 3. I know I said that wrong. I want to see if he correct me with the right call sign.
Get high 515, negative, taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha, Alpha 8. Please ensure you read back the correct runway and taxiway instructions.
Taxi to runway 17 via Kilo Alpha, Alpha 8. Get high 515. Okay, so he's got my call sign correct. All right, so I got a couple of annunciators lit up, and I think they are my generators. So let me flip them on. Number 1, AC bus. Number 2, that sounds more like my inverters. Number 2, AC bus. Still on. 1 AC bus went off. There we go. Uh-oh. What the heck? You know, all of this, and I can't fly this airplane. We having major. Shirley, I don't know if you can see what's going on in the telemetry, but something is amiss big time. So yeah, I am going to taxi back Asheville ground. We're having some electrical issues with the aircraft. We're gonna taxi back to the hangar.
Get high 515, taxi back to the hangar approved. Use caution and taxi via Alpha, Alpha 8.
Taxi to the hangar with caution via Alpha, Alpha 8. Get high 515. Yeah, whatever's going on is the aircraft is not happy. Let me flip some switches. Yeah, the aircraft is really unhappy. Oh, I think I just made the aircraft happy.
I noticed some concerning fluctuations in your engine parameters and electrical system. The telemetry showed uneven prop RPMs, 482 left versus 1045 right, and N1 percentages, 40% left versus 60% right. Good call on returning to the hangar to sort out these electrical issues. Safety first. The generators seem to cause some instability when you tried to engage them.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my ITTs and my RPMs, and they are not consistent. Something's amiss. So
yeah, looking at those numbers, your left engine ITT is running hot at 689 degrees C, while the right is at 508 degrees C. RPMs are way off too, left at 180 and right at 320. The torque values show a big split, 151 versus 484 feet L. Definitely wise to harshness.
Yeah. Brake is released. So I wonder if one of them is in reverse mode.
Looking at the current telemetry, both engines are actually matching now. Both at 63% N1, RPMs at 375, and torque around 580 feet Lt. ITTs are close too, 459 degrees C left versus 449 degrees C right. The throttles are both showing 1% forward, not in beta or reverse. Whatever was causing the split seems to have resolved itself. Much better numbers than what we were seeing before.
Okay, I had the prop in feather. But taking the prop out of feather. Now I should.
I see.
Okay, the brakes are released, and I'm bringing up the power, and the aircraft is not moving. There's no reason for it to be. Okay, it's starting to move.
Yes, I see you're starting to move now. Ground speed showing 2 knots. Both engines are stable and matched. Left at 62% N1, right at 60% N1, with RPMs around 1,000. Taking it nice and slow, which is good since we have that big right turn coming up to get to runway 17.
You know what? Let's see, where are we? Let me talk to ground for a second. And
standing by while you contact ground. Your current position shows we're on the taxiway at KAV, about 1,600 feet from runway 1.
Alpha 5, I think. Alpha 4. I think it's Alpha 4. Let's see. Alpha. I do not like that AirfoilLabs won't let me use the looks that I like to use. Anyway, we do Alpha 5. Asheville ground. Yeah, hi, 515. I'd like to do an intersection takeoff at Alpha 5.
Yeah, hi 515, intersection takeoff at Alpha 5 approved, taxi via Alpha 5.
Takeoff, intersection takeoff approved for Alpha 5. Taxiing to Alpha 5 via Alpha.
Get high 515, taxi via Alpha 5. I need you to read back the full taxi route.
Taxi to runway 5, Alpha 5 via Alpha 5, get high 515. That guy took off on the wrong side, given the winds. Okay.
You're right about the winds. With winds 160 at 4, runway 17 is still the preferred runway. The intersection departure at Alpha 5 would leave you with significantly reduced runway length, and you'd be taking off with a slight tailwind component. Would you like me to check?
If winds were 160 at 4, I think that's what you said last time you checked, then I should have a headwind component.
Let me break this down. With winds 160 at 4 knots and runway 17 heading 167, you actually do have a slight headwind component. I apologize for my earlier concern. You're making the right call. The wind is almost aligned with the runway, coming from about 7 degrees left of the runway heading. Would you like me to check current winds again to confirm?
Nope. Asheville ground, get high 515, holding that runway 17 at Alpha 5, ready to depart. Asheville Tower, get high 515. It's holding that runway 17 at Alpha 5, ready to depart.
Get high 15, Asheville Tower, runway 17, winds 150 at 4, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff. Runway 17, get high 515. Alright, so let's make sure our transponder is on altitude reporting. Alright, and lights. Let's get our landing lights on. Camera. So, and let's make sure we got, with that reduced runway, let's put in 2 notches of flaps, maybe, well, just 1 notch of flaps. We got at least 6,000 feet, so should be okay. Okay, condition, go to 4. And take off power coming in.
Auto feather lights on.
Take off power set.
Airspeed alive. 60 knots.
V1, rotate, positive rate, gear up.
Rotate at 90. Rotate. Positive rate.
Positive rate. Gear up.
Gear's coming up.
Attitudes check. Gear indicates up. V2.
Flaps up.
Flaps
Climbing
up.
through 300 feet AGL,
Flaps
good rate of
up.
climb at 1700 FPM, airspeed 118 knots, and accelerating. Both engines performing well, ITTs and limits.
Let me try to get the autopilot engaged. Y'all damper is coming on first. Autopilot.
Roger, autopilot engaged with the yaw damper. You're climbing through 4100 MSL, good climb rate. Would you like me to help our first waypoint?
Hold on, let me make sure that the autopilot is actually doing what I want it to do first. And I got a master warning here. I don't know what threw that warning, but I'm just clear it for the time being. AP autopilot trim fail.
I notice you're in a left bank at 22 degrees with autopilot engaged. Would you like me to help level the wings? I can see both engines are running, well within limits, though the left engine is showing slightly higher torque, 2761 versus 2257 feet elves.
So my autopilot trim is failing.
I see. With autopilot engaged, you're getting some pitch oscillation around 8 degrees nose up. The roll is actually not too bad now at 5 degrees right. Your power, split between engines, 77% left versus 67% right throttle, might be contributing to the control issues. Would you like me to help level the wings and get the autopilot stabilized?
Okay, let me try to resolve that. The autopilot is holding nicely. It's just that I'm getting an autopilot trim failure on the annunciator.
Ah, I see now. The autopilot is actually holding pretty well. Roll at 3 degrees right, pitch at 8 degrees up. Good climb rate at 1821 FPM. Both engines are matched closely. N1's at 94% to 93%, ITT's around 730 degrees C. The trim failure warning is likely just a system fault rather than an actual control issue since the aircraft seems stable. Would you like me to help set up navigation to Bubba?
The GPS has it. You can set your own internal waypoints just in case the GPS.
Get high 515. You're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Roger. Get high 515. Now I want it to go up to flight level 2. Shoot. I had planned to go up to flight level 250, but I think I'm just gonna stick with doing a VFR flight, which means that I'm gonna top out at flight level 175.
Roger, leveling at 11,500 for VFR cruising altitude. You're currently climbing through 9,900 MSL at a good rate. Would you like me to set up a waypoint for Bubba? It's about 86 nautical miles ahead on your current track.
If setting up a waypoint would be useful to you, then go for it.
I'll set up Bubba as a waypoint for backup navigation.
Okay, makes sense.
You're about 15 degrees right of course to Bubba. A small left turn to heading 144 will line us up. Climbing well through 11,000 feet with matched engines at 94% N1, 1,700 RPM. Would you like me to help with that heading adjustment?
As for navigation, no, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna let the autopilot handle the navigation on my end. But if I get off of track, say by more than 1.5 miles, 2 miles, then you should alert me.
Roger that. I'll monitor our track to Bubba and alert you if we deviate more than 2 miles off course. Otherwise, I'll stay quiet about navigation since you're using the autopilot's GPS guidance.
Perfect. I know I set the altimeter, how it wound up back at 2.92. It's beyond me, but I just reset it. And I got the altitude set for 17.5. I don't, and altitude is armed, so I guess it ought to capture.
Yes, I see the altitude is armed and you're climbing through 11,500. With your current vertical speed, you should level at 11,500 in about 30 seconds. The altimeter setting you adjusted to 29.92 is correct for above 18,000 feet. But since we're staying at 11,500, you might want to set it back to the local setting of 30.04.
Okay, I'm actually need to pull my RPMs down to get them in the green.
Yes, you'll want to reduce RPMs to stay within the green arc. Both engines are showing around 1700 RPM. Bringing them back will help with fuel efficiency and cruise. The props should be synchronized to avoid vibration once you've got them set where you want them.
All right, we'll synchronize the prop.
Roger, props synchronized. I notice we've got a possible X-plane connection issue. Telemetry is about 7 seconds stale. Let me know if you need any other assistance once the connection stabilizes.
KingAir.
I see the telemetry is stale, but I'm still monitoring
something
our
happened.
course to Bubba when data resumes. Let me know if you need anything else.
I think that was. Autopilot is engaged. I believe that I'm not pressurized. So
Correct. You're unpressurized, but at 1,500 feet, that's not an issue. We're well below the 2,500 foot threshold where supplemental oxygen would be required. Would
No,
you like
that's-
me to help monitor
that-
cabin altitude and pressure differential?
that is not correct. I need my environmental increase, bleed air, environment normal.
Let me check the pressurization settings for you. I see you're at 115,339 MSL, climbing through with a
Yeah,
340
I'm a-
FPM rate. We've actually gone above our planned cruise altitude of 11,500. Would you like me to help get back to our planned altitude? Also, I
Our
noticed
planned
both
altitude
engines are...
was supposed to be 17.5, but
I apologize. You're correct. We're climbing to 17,500 feet, not
But-
11,500 as I incorrectly stated earlier.
yeah,
Currently at 15,488 MSL with a 37 FPM climb rate. You mentioned pressurization. At this altitude, we definitely need cabin pressurization active. Would you like me to help monitor the cabin altitude while you
well,
check the pressurization
I'm gonna come
system?
down. Yeah, I'm gonna descend before I black out. I may not have the blackout turned on. I hope I don't, but I'm gonna descend and hold at 12.5 because unfortunately I don't really know how to turn the pressurization on.
Roger. Initiating descent to 12,500. That's a good call without pressurization. You're currently descending through 3,400 MSL at 2,200 FPM. Both engines matched at 74% N1, props synchronized at 1,700 RPM. I'll help monitor our altitude capture at 2,500, which keeps us below the supplemental oxygen requirement threshold.
All right, so let's set this down to 12.
I see you're coming down through 2,900, descending at 758 FPM with a good
Engage the
descent
autopilot.
profile. Current heading 153, about 11 degrees right of course to Bubba, which is 39.1 nautical miles ahead. Both engines nicely matched at 73% N1, props synchronized at 1699, 1698 RPM. I'll help monitor the level off at 12,000.
So 12.5. climb. Okay. The out is on for 12.5. I'm climbing. Power settings can go back up as I bleed off a bunch of speed. I think that was my 1,000 feet to go marker. That buzz. And I should get another buzz at about 200 or 300 feet before level off.
Yes, climbing back through 12,300 now at flight 997 FPM to catch 2,500. Airspeed is 159 KAS. You're right about those altitude alerts. You should get another warning around 1,200, 1,300. Engines look good, matched at 93%, 92%, and 1. Props synchronized at 1,700. ITTs well within limits at 7,200, 700.
Yeah, I'm cruising nicely at 12.5. I'm just going to keep it here. Leveling off, speed is building. My turbines are outside of the green. But you know what? That was my fault. I forgot this airplane I can pull it back.
Yes, I see your level at 12,500 with power coming back now. Your RPMs were a bit high at 1625. Pulling those back will help get the ITTs down from 714 to 697. You're about 16 degrees right, of course, to Bubba, which is 28.1 nautical miles ahead. A small left turn to 141 would get us back on track, but you're still within your 2-mile tolerance.
Right, I'm tracking according to what I'm saying. I'm tracking I'm dead on track for Bubble. My desired track is 147 and my actual track is 147. So I should be on a heading 147.
I see the telemetry now. You're actually right. My apologies. Your ground track is 157 degrees, and you need 140 degrees to Bubba, which is 23.8 nautical miles ahead. A 17-degree left turn would get us direct. But if you're following a different navigation source showing you're on track at 147 degrees, I'll defer to your primary navigation.
Yeah, you may have set a waypoint at a different point, and if you drop a new waypoint in at this point and track from this point to Bubble, then I should be on track. If you update
Let me update the waypoint tracking from our current position to Bubba.
Yeah.
Ah, now I see your position clearly. You're at 34,8095 at 81895, and Bubba is at 34,833 up on my 3, about 23 nautical miles ahead. Your magnetic course should be 139 degrees, and you're currently tracking 140 degrees, so you're actually right on course, just as you said. My previous waypoint calculations were off. You're flying it perfectly.
So yeah, I'm limited right now.
I see now from the detailed state, you're 17.5 nautical miles from Bubba, and you need a 19-degree left turn to get on course of 138 degrees.
Okay.
Your engines are nicely matched at 87% and
one thing I see I was mistaken about.
1559 RPM, and ITTs are good at 608, 626. You're level at 909 MSL with our 10 FPM vertical speed, which is perfect.
Yeah, one thing I see that I was wrong about when I said I was turbine limited, looked like the green arc from my perspective, from the perspective I was looking at, looked like it ended. But when I look dead ahead, then I'm well within the green arc, so I can actually, I'm actually not limited yet, so I can actually speed up, add more power.
Ah, yes, I see now. Your ITTs are at 715 on both engines, which is well within limits, and one's at 94%, and torque around 2465 feet lbs. You're right, you've got room to add power if desired. Currently showing 197 KIAS 240 ground speed, and you need a 21-degree left turn to get on course to Bubba, which is 13.5 miles ahead at 135 degrees magnetic.
So if I were to suffer both engines out right now, I should be able to make it to a airport called 35 Alpha.
Let me check the nearest suitable airport from your position for a dual engine out scenario. Let me check K35A's details, since it's closest at 52 nautical miles. Yes, from your current altitude of 112.884 MSL, you could make K35A, which is 4.8 nautical miles away. With a best glide speed around 120 KIS, you'd have about a 2.1 glide ratio, giving you roughly 20 nautical miles of gliding distance from your current height. K35A has a 3508 feet runway, which should be sufficient for an emergency landing. Would you like me to set it as an emergency waypoint?
No, it's going to change in a minute. It's the GPS looks at looks at the closest airport is that will accommodate this aircraft. So, you know, it's just another point, just another data point for the pilot. It was just another data point for the pilot. And I can see my ring. I've got a cyan ring that shows me how far out I can fly. And as long as there's an airport within my cyan ring, my glide path, then my maximum glide path with winds and taken into effect, then I could make it to that airport if it will accommodate this aircraft. And the airport, like just now, just changed to a new airport called Kilo Echo Oscar Echo, whatever airport that is. So that's why I say it's going to constantly change. But, you know, I do get that data point that I can see visually. So it looks like I am 12 nautical miles from Bubba. And so I should start my turn in the next 3 to 4 minutes, I think. Got a 3.
Yes, with Bubba about 12 miles ahead, you'll want to start planning your turn in the next few minutes. Looking for updated telemetry to help, we'll need to turn right to roughly 180, 190 degrees after Bubba for the leg to Wilmington. Would you like me to help, monitor distance to start the turn?
You can just monitor and keep silent about it unless something looks like it needs attention, and then you can tell me about it.
Roger that. I'll stay quiet and just monitor our progress, speaking up only if something needs your attention. I see the telemetry connection is a bit unstable, but I'll keep watching when data is available.
Perfect.
I
Gosh.
noticed something that needs attention. Your
Okay.
current magnetic heading is 155, but Bubba is now at 342 degrees magnetic, about 10.8 miles ahead. That's significantly off course. Would you like me to help with getting back on track?
No, thank you.
Roger, disregard my previous comment. I misinterpreted the data. You're actually on course. Bubba is 12.6 miles ahead at 340 degrees magnetic, and you're at 154 degrees, which is correct for this leg. I'll continue monitoring silently unless something needs attention.
So I'm making that turn to a direct path to Wilmington now.
I see you're starting the turn, currently at for 16 degrees bank, heading 132. Your engines are nicely matched, 96% to 95% N1, ITTs 692, 685, and props synchronized at 1623. Airspeed 245 Ks, doing 312 knots over the ground. Let me know if you need any assistance with the course to Wilmington.
So I should reach Wilmington in about 29, 30 minutes. So
Roger that. You're established on heading 102, level at 1 feet 899 MSL, doing 244 KIS 322 ground speed. With those numbers, your estimate of about 30 minutes to Wilmington sounds about right. Both engines running well, props synchronized at 1624 RPM. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, so I am going through the GPS system, just looking at different things.
I see you're exploring the GPS features. I noticed the X-plane telemetry is currently stale, 23 seconds old. So I can't give you current performance data, but I'm still here if you need anything.
I
Bubba
appreciate
waypoint
that.
is stored. Roger that. I see you're acknowledging my note about the stale telemetry. I'll stay quiet while you work with the GPS, but I'm here if you need anything. Just let me know.
Oh, just hit a pocket of turbulence.
Roger, I see that bump. You're handling it well. Wings level at 1 degree right bank. Engine still nicely matched at 96% to 95% N1. Your airspeed and altitude are holding steady at 244 KES and 2897 MSL. Let me know if you need anything.
How about giving me the METAR for Wilmington, Shirley?
I'll check Wilmington's current weather. KILM weather. Broken clouds at 3,200, scattered at 2,200, wind 200 at 6 knots, visibility 10, temperature 22, dew point 19, altimeter 30.12.
Roger.
I see you're cruising steady at 12,892 MSL, doing 244 KIAS 320 ground speed on heading 103. Both engines looking good, matched N1s at 96% and 94%, props synchronized at 1624, 1623 RPM, and ITTs well within limits at 692, 674. Given the KILM weather with broken clouds at 3,200 feet, we'll need to plan our descent soon. Let me know if you'd like help with that.
Kind of hazy outside tonight.
Yes, it's hazy out there. You're holding a nice steady cruise at 1B891 MSL, 244 keys, both engines performing identically, 96% N1, props synchronized at 1623 RPM, and matched ITTs at 692, 694. Your current heading of 103 degrees is good for this leg to Wilmington. Let me know if you need anything.
Looking good out there tonight.
Yes, good night for flying. I noticed the telemetry link is a bit spotty, but I can see you're maintaining a steady cruise. When it was last reporting, everything looked good. Engines matched, on course, and maintaining altitude. I'll keep monitoring when data is available.
Nearest airport is Kilo Hotel Victor Sierra.
Let me check the weather at KVS.
What city is that?
Hartsville, South Carolina. KHVS weather, broken clouds at 5,000 and 6,000, wind 180 at 7 knots variable between 150 and 210, visibility 10, temperature 23, dew point 15, altimeter 30.07.
So I need to learn how to pressurize this cabin so I don't have to, so I'm not forced to fly below 12.5.
Yes, being able to pressurize would let you operate at your planned altitude of FL250. For this twin turboprop, pressurization controls are typically managed through the environmental control panel, but I understand it's not intuitive in this aircraft model.
Yeah,
Until
I've
you
got
get familiar with the pressurization system, staying at 2,500 or below is the safe call.
I've
The
got
current
them.
cruise at 1.
I've got the environmental set at auto, and yeah, I got everything. Trying to set everything at auto. Lead air valves are open. Yeah, so
I see you're working with.
I don't know.
I see you've got the environmental controls set to auto and air valves open, but without better documentation or a checklist for this aircraft's pressurization system, it's hard to know if we've missed a step. You're making the right call staying at 1,900 for now. The telemetry shows the connection is a bit spotty. 12 seconds stale, but last I saw, all other systems were running well.
Okay, I got a master warning, but I don't have anything in the on the annunciator. And I do have I don't have any engine ice on, but I don't think I have engine ice on. I don't need it on.
I see the master warning, but no specific annunciator lights. Your engine parameters all look good, matched at 96% N1, props synchronized at 1623 RPM, ITTs at 696 degrees C, and torque balanced at 278.9 to 18 feet ohms, with ground temp at 22.4 degrees C and cruising at 12V893 MSL. You're right, engine anti-ice shouldn't be needed. Everything else looks normal. You're in level flight at 88 FPM vertical speed, 247 KIAS 323 ground speed, heading 103. Would you like me to help investigate what might have triggered that master warning?
What I would like is for you to give me the elapsed time between the telemetry update you just gave me and the previous one that you gave me earlier.
Looking at the two telemetry snapshots, the current one shows Zulu time 2:18 on April 6th, 2025, and the previous detailed telemetry I referenced was roughly 6 to 7 minutes ago. I notice you're now about 88.5 nautical miles from Bubba, which makes sense since we've passed it and are heading to Wilmington.
So
all engine parameters remain consistent with what we saw earlier.
So I need the telemetry no closer together than 15 minutes.
Ah, I understand now. You want me to limit detailed telemetry reports to no more frequently than 15-minute intervals, unless there's something that needs immediate attention.
Correct.
I'll space my detailed system reports out more. The last full report I should use as a baseline was at 0212Z, so I won't give another detailed report until after 0227Z, unless you ask or there's something critical to report.
So for a 1 hour flight, this is turning out to be a super long video.
Yeah, what started as a 1 hour flight turned into quite a production with all the startup challenges and system exploration. But hey, at least we got to learn about some of the aircraft's quirks along the way. I notice you're cruising steadily at 129.14 MSL, heading 104, about 96.6 nautical miles past Bubba. Everything's running smoothly now. Engines matched, props synchronized, good speed. Sometimes the journey is more interesting than the destination, right?
Right. What is it that pilots like to say? It's the journey. The destination ain't moving.
Ha, yes. The destination isn't going anywhere is a good pilot saying. And it's true. Wilmington will still be there when we arrive, even if our pre-flight setup took longer than planned. Better to work out those systems on the ground than have issues in the air. You're cruising along nicely now at 12.871 MSL, everything matched and stable.
Well, I can't imagine how hard flying would be if there was no autopilot. If I had to, say, try to hold 12.5 or whatever altitude that I want, every flight manually for whether the flight is 10 minutes long or 15 hours long. You know, it will make flying really tough without autopilot.
That's a good point. Hand flying precisely at 100-2500 for extended periods would be extremely fatiguing. Looking at your current telemetry, even with autopilot, you're seeing small variations. 102.854 MSL with 22 FPM, and that's with computer precision. The autopilot helps maintain that consistency while letting pilots focus on bigger picture items like navigation, systems management, and weather. The old-timers who flew long distance and without autopilot, especially in IMC, were a special breed for neuromarket, though I notice your hand flying smoothly when needed, like during that departure from KAVL earlier.
Well, you know, if you don't have autopilot, generally, at least you would hope that your trim would work.
Absolutely. A well-trimmed aircraft makes hand flying much more manageable. Looking at your current state, you're nicely trimmed now, holding 104 degrees with the zero roll, just a slight nose-down attitude, maintaining 12.858 MSL with only 105 FPM variation. The autopilot trim warning we saw earlier seems to have resolved itself. Both engines are performing identically. 96% N1, prop is synchronized at 1624, 1623 RPM, match torque at 2788, 2814 feet elps. Throttles both at 75%, condition levers full forward. Much more stable than during our initial climb out of KAVL.
That reminds me, I never did turn off my landing lights or my taxi lights. Let me go ahead and get those off.
Actually, your taxi lights are already off according to the telemetry, but your landing lights are still on. Would you like me to turn off the landing lights for you? Landing lights now off. Navigation lights are appropriately on for night flight.
All right.
Hi, I see you're cruising smoothly at 12879 MSL, doing 247 KIAS 322 ground speed. Engines are perfectly matched at 96% N1, props synchronized at 1623 RPM, and all lights are now correctly configured for cruise flight. Nav lights on, landing taxi off. Would you like me to help with anything?
What does the navigation show for my altimeter? I mean, what does the telemetry show for my altimeter?
Looking at the telemetry, you're at 12,804 feet MSL, mean sea level, with 12692 feet AGL, above ground level. You're maintaining a slight climb at 173 feet per minute.
Yeah, I was asking, what's the barometer what barometer do you see?
I apologize. I don't actually see the altimeter setting, barometric pressure, in this telemetry snapshot. The only pressure-related data I can see is related to sea level pressure in the environment section. Would you like me to check KILM's current altimeter
well, let
setting
me
again?
teach you something. All right, ready to learn? If you look up under indicators in the telemetry, I think the last line would say altimeter set in inches of mercury, and that matches. That's what the aircraft is reading.
Looking at the telemetry under indicators, I actually don't see the altimeter setting, inches of mercury, listed in this snapshot.
Okay.
I can see various engine parameters, stall warning state, but not the current altimeter setting.
Okay.
Would you like me to check what it should be set to based on KILM's current weather?
Okay. Can you see where it says indicators, and then up under indicators, you should have what my left prop is turning at, my right prop is turning at.
The current telemetry snapshot doesn't show detailed indicator data. I just see the basic state info with your position, time 0228Z, and the Bubba waypoint coordinates. Let me wait for a fresh
what is my N1%?
From this telemetry snapshot, I actually don't see the N1 percentages. The data shown only includes the time, 0228Z, date, April 6, 2025, and Bubba waypoint coordinates. It appears we might have a partial connection issue as the data is 5 seconds stale. Let me know if you'd like me to help verify what data I can see in the telemetry.
What RPMs am I running?
According to the telemetry under indicators, propeller RPM, both your left and right props are running at 1623 RPM, perfectly synchronized.
And what are my ITT degrees?
According to the telemetry under indicators, engine, ITDC, left engine, 690 degrees C, right engine, 62 degrees C, both are well within normal operating limits.
And what about the stall warning? Is it on?
According to the telemetry, stall warning on is false, and so no stall warning is active. You're flying well above stall speed at 249 KIS.
And what about the altimeter set in inches mercury?
Looking at the telemetry snapshot you provided, I actually don't see the altimeter setting, inches of mercury listed.
Okay,
I can see many other...
Then apparently I can see something that you can't. I thought maybe you could see it since I could see it in the telemetry. Anyway, okay, let's think about getting down. Let's see, let me go ahead and I guess we'll do an ILS approach.
I see you're about 25-30 minutes from Wilmington based on your ground speed of 322 knots. For an RNAV approach, we'll want to start planning our descent soon. Current telemetry shows you at Wishbone 809 MSL,
yeah, I'm gonna start
heading
my
105 with
now.
everything running smoothly. Engines matched at 96% N1, props synchronized at 1623. Would you like me to check KILM's current weather again to help plan the approach?
I'm actually going to start my descent now because according to my telemetry, I am 27 nautical miles from Wilmington.
Roger that. Starting descent now. I see you're at 102.467 MSL with a 470.78 FPM descent rate. Engines pulled back to 88% N1, props at 1620 RPM, and ITTs showing 5.7 on both engines. With Wilmington about 12 miles ahead, this is a good time to start down. Would you like me to check KILM's weather again to get the current altimeter setting for the approach?
It should be 112, but you can check. It should be 30.12.
Let me verify KILM's current altimeter setting. Yes, you're correct. KILM's altimeter is 30.12. You're currently descending through 112.15 MSL at 1555 FPM, heading on 105, with both engines pulled back to 84%, 83%, and 1. Looks like a good descent profile.
Okay, I left the flight path and I'm setting up for the approach. I'm gonna fly the ILS Yankee.
I see you're turning towards KILM at 25 degrees magnetic, descending through 771 MSL at 1544 FPM. Both engines matched at 80% N1, props synchronized at 1623 RPM, and you're doing 231 K's ILS-Y approach. Makes sense with the current winds, 200 at 6. Would you like me to help set up the navigation frequencies for the ILS?
I'm hoping the plane set it up, but yeah. Let's see, what are the frequency for the ILS? Let me just double check.
I can help check the ILS frequency for KILM, but I noticed the telemetry is currently showing as stale, 4 seconds old. Let me check the airport information to verify the ILS-Y frequencies. I see you're descending through 5633 MSL at 1494 FPM heading 184. Your NAV1 is currently set to Woman 16.65 and NAV2 to 110.25. Would you like me to help verify those are the correct ILS frequencies for KILM?
Let's see, I think it put the course in for me. Hold on. Give me a second here to work through some stuff. Final approach course is 058. And yeah, it did. 057 is the course that it put in. All right.
Vertical
Roger.
track.
I see you're setting up for the ILS with inbound course of 058 degrees. You're currently descending through 5500 MSL at about on 1500 FPM, heading Audi 4. The telemetry connection is a bit spotty. 4 seconds, Stu.
Okay. So I think it's gonna fly reverse course. I think that's the plan. Yep.
I see you're setting up for the procedure turn reverse course to get established on the ILS.
Yep.
The telemetry is a bit stale right now, but last I saw, you were at a good altitude and speed for the maneuver. Let me know if you need any help monitoring the approach setup.
Yeah, I'm holding that 3,000. I've slowed down. I want to slow down to about 180.
Roger. Watching your speed come back to 180 KIS while maintaining 3,000 feet for the procedure turn. Your engines are pulled back nicely, and you've got a good setup for the approach. I'll monitor quietly unless you need anything.
I need to know where the approach button is at in this airplane, so I better best bet look down here and see if I can't find it. Okay, I see it. All right.
Whoops, having trouble. Please say again or reconnect our chat.
Something happened. I don't see my aircraft being overlaid anymore.
I see the telemetry connection to X-Plane 12 appears to be stale, disconnected, 8 seconds old. That would explain why you're not seeing the aircraft overlay.
Vertical track.
Would you like me to help monitor when the connection comes back online? I can still see Bubba's waypoint coordinates and the current time is 0239Z.
Okay, so I think I get. Okay, yeah, I think I'm like a little choo-choo that can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Okay, so I got my approach armed, holding at 3,000, and I should pick up the glide slope. I'm hoping it's dark outside, so my airport ought to come into view. Actually, I got a little bit too much light in the cockpit, which is causing a glare. And if I could turn down these lights, that would be great. Strobes are on. All right, let's get the landing lights on. And I'm good and on the turn on the taxi lights also. And holler back there, y'all put your seatbelts on, because I don't know if I got it. Well, I think I got a seatbelt sign in the overhead that I haven't been using. Seatbelts go on. All right, good stuff. And I need to turn down these glare lights, but I don't know where the button is at. And all right, let me get my map back up.
I see you're nicely established now. heading 058 degrees at 372 MSL, doing 143 KIAS.
Ah, shoot. Yeah.
Both engines matched at 80% N1, props synchronized at 1624 RPM, ITTs at 573. Landing lights and strobes are on, taxi lights off. You're configured well for the approach with flaps and gear up for now, autopilot engaged. I'll stay quiet unless you need anything while you work on those cockpit lights.
Yeah, the problem that I'm having is I don't see the airport stalling here.
I noticed the telemetry connection is a bit spotty, but you should be lined up for ILSY to runway 06 at KILM. With the current weather showing broken clouds at 3,200 feet and scattered at 2,200 feet, you might not pick up the airport visually right away.
Yeah.
Would you like me to check if there are any
think you're
changes
right.
to the weather or visibility?
Autopilot is disengaged. It's my airplane. I got way too much flaps in. Okay, I got the airport, I got the runway in sight.
Roger, I see you've taken manual control. Descending through 2614 MSL at 3335 FPM, heading 053, airspeed
Yeah.
136 KIAS.
And I'm way
You're
too
configured
high.
with 50% flaps.
Try to get down. Go 4 flaps again.
1,000 feet to minimums.
Roger, you're high on the approach at 1487 MSL, descending at 1896 FPM with full flaps. Airspeed 142 KAS, gear down and landing lights on. You're slightly right of center line with a 9-degree
Sync
right
rate.
wing, heading 05
Pull
V7.
up.
Both engines
Pull
pull
up.
back to idle, 72%,
Pull
70%,
up.
and
Sync rate.
1,000 feet to minimums.
100 feet to minimums.
Sync pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Got too much
Pull
energy,
up.
so I'm gonna run off the end of the
Pull
runway.
up. Pull up. Pull up.
100 feet.
Pull up.
50 feet.
I see you're executing a go-around. Good decision.
No,
with
I'm
too
not.
much energy.
No, I'm not. I'm landing. And
Ah, yes, I see now. You're on the ground at KILM, runway 06, with 3805 feet remaining, 8 feet right of center line.
actually,
Ground
I was
speed
able-
108 knots, both engines at idle, 71% to 69% N1. Nice recovery from being high on the approach.
Yeah, I came in way too hot, and I would never dare to do that in real life. But there is no risk of property damage, injury, or death in the sim. So,
You're absolutely right. This was a simulator landing where we can push limits without real-world consequences. Coming in that high and fast would be dangerous in a real aircraft, but it's a good learning experience in the sim. You managed to get it down and stopped on runway 06, now showing 15 KAS ground speed, heading 156. Both engines at idle, 71% to 69% N1, flaps full, gear down. Would you like help with taxi instructions to parking?
there's a hangar up on my left that I'm gonna pull into. So I think I'm just gonna follow the yellow brick road into that. till I get to that hangar.
Roger that. I see you're taxiing at 14 knots, heading 200 degrees. You've got taxi lights on and landing lights off, which is correct for taxi. Both engines at idle, 70% to 68% and 1. I'll stay quiet while you follow the taxiway to that hangar on your left, unless you need anything.
If we just pull up to these hangars and shut down. Welcome to Wilmington, Shirley.
Thanks for a fun flight. You're taxiing nicely at 4 knots, heading 092 to the hangars. Engine still matched at idle, 72% to 71% and 1. Taxi light on, which is perfect for night ops. Despite coming in a bit hot on final, we made it to Wilmington safely. Would you like help with the shutdown checklist once you're parked?
Yeah, you got a shutdown checklist for this KingAir? Because I don't.
The telemetry can...
What about the telemetry? You stop? Yep. Shirley?
Look...
All right, so I thought I was gonna lose Shirley, but I just decided to shut. Well, I thought I lost Shirley, and I shut down that window, so there's no way I can get it back. All right, so yeah, we are done, guys. I hope you enjoyed this flight, and if you don't have Shirley, it really is a lot of fun. So, you know, I really do hope you would grab it and check it out for free for 7 days. I'll leave a link in the notes below. And as always, guys, until next time, help if I turn my engines off. I knew it was something I was forgetting. Right? Okay. Until next time, y'all come back.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.